always just like kind of just like get people into just like we're talking. Like that's the goal.
So
I'm glad,
like
man. That's the goal.
A good space.
That's the goal. I like it when people just like feel comfortable because it's like, I don't know. The questions that I ask are going to be a little bit deeper than the average. Like I ain't trying to figure out what's your favorite Marvel movie. Like it's like, you know, it's a good question, but it's like that's off topic from what this is here. It's the Miseducation of Music. What is up and welcome to another episode of the Miseducation of Music. You are here with J-Treb as always, but today I got a special guest in the building, man. I got the artist, the producer, the engineer, man, the herald that grew up on heralds, man. I heard it in the verses, bro. Come on. We got Galaxy Francis in the building today, man. Say what's up to the people.
There's a crowd in the background making noise.
Oh, no, there's always a crowd. If you actually go watch the episodes, there'll be claps. There's always claps right there, man.
I'm in sync.
You are, G. You are, G. Say what's up to the people, though, man.
What's up, people? What's up, good people? Blessings to all of y'all, man.
Man, I'm so glad to have you on the show, man. I've said this now on damn near every episode. This season about getting people who are in my headphones on this couch to talk to. These are people who I'm really listening to. Like, you're in my current playlist.
That's real love,
The Shining with Jay Wood is in the playlist right now. It's that good. From the moment I heard it and I heard that beat, I was like, I love this. Then I saw the video and I was like, the imagery, and it just tied into everything. We got to talk today, man.
We are going to get deep into
We are going
shit,
to,
bro.
G. And I love to get deep into the weeds of how you create this music and just how your brain works in order to get these creations out. But I do want to start off with, how did you get started in this? Yeah. Like, how did you become Galaxy Francis right here, man? Like, did you always like, I'm gonna be a rapper and a singer and I'm gonna get this shit? Really? This was from jump?
I mean, I don't know if it was always a conscious decision to be like, I'm gonna be a rapper and a singer. I just knew I wanted to be a rapper when I heard Slim Thug.
Oh, it was over?
You know what I'm saying?
That's hilarious.
Slim Thug
I love
specifically.
that. I love that. What track?
Already Platinum.
Oh man, okay.
You know
you knew exactly what you wanted to be then.
It was early social studies classes. I always was into writing. Language arts was my favorite class. And I just really like writing stories. I was into poetry. Had a poem published when I was like 12.
Oh.
The school that I went to just like put together some program. They were like, write some poems. The best ones that are chosen will get published.
Oh, so you had the gas in the tank, bro. Like
I think I come from just a family that loves music. I got a couple of singers in my family. When I was really young, I just really loved ear candy. You know what I'm saying? My first songs that I remember are like Gin and Juice and Candy Girl by New Edition.
Oh my
you know what
God.
I'm saying?
Just the way those tracks hit, like hearing them right now still inflect, it's that same emotion.
Exactly.
Like those timeless tracks. I feel like that's the way that I was when like my mom was showing me, like, I remember she showed me like early Jill Scott and early like Mary J. Blige. And it's just like when you hear something like I'm Going Down by Mary, you're like, that's with me forever.
Yeah.
And every time you hear it, that first note is gonna hit that time on my, it's gonna hit every time.
No,
like it don't get bad in there.
Man, for real. So like imagine me on my red Huffy singing all those songs up and down the block.
Up and down the block singing these.
From age 6 to like 10 to the kids on the block would call me like the neighborhood radio.
Hey man, that's awesome.
I didn't
love
have dreams of like being a singer back then. Maybe I did because I was singing Avant.
In
the third grade talent show. You feel me? I'm not gonna hold you.
That's a wild third grade option. I just want to say that for the record.
Guess what song it was?
Which one?
Get Away. You know what I'm talking. It's like track 3 or 4 off that Green Cover album.
You're like 10?
Yeah, bro, singing my heart out, crying.
Just embodying Avant.
Man, I definitely got some new walking partners in gym class after that, though. You feel me?
I mean, of course. That was definitely not a third grade song.
You should let me love you.
Oh, not the Mario. You was hitting everything.
During the walkathon. The walkathon, bro.
Man, that's so
awesome. Do they
awesome.
still have walkathons?
I don't know, man. I definitely had them in my school.
Okay, for sure.
So, like, but that was like, I last walkathon, I was in 2011. That was still a minute ago now.
For sure.
But like you got all of this music coming in at this time, like that was obviously influencing you. How did it kind of like, where was the push to kind of create your own? Because I mean, it's real easy to kind of become that neighborhood radio in a sense and like the collector of the music, but to push yourself to create it that's a separate energy. Like I mean, you had the poems, but like creating music, man.
Yeah, I think I'm somebody that likes to learn. For real. I'm somebody that likes to try new things. So out of necessity, me being a rapper, I needed beats. This was before like YouTube.
I love that. Yeah, this is before you could type in type beat.
This
all you could get was like an instrumental.
You know, like this is where I'm on LimeWire risking my grandmother's computer health.
You know
for
how many people bring up, bro? Come on, man. Like for every Lil Wayne mixtape, I risked everything on the computer.
It all. I've broken several and repaired them. Oh man, you know that's how I got good at computers.
Had to.
But that
because that computer had to work when my mom needed to use it, but I also needed the drought too. Like it was like real. We had like we was in a duality, mom. Like
can't one feel of us my face. Mandatory. So she ended up getting another computer for like the office area. And then I could start using.
I was going to say you have the one that you can actually like get on and ruin essentially.
Windows 97, baby.
Man, okay. So you got the Windows 97. How did you figure out how to like even go about making your own music? That's not something that's as easy as it is today. I can download 5 apps right now,
and you'll know how to do it. So. It was real communal for me to where I had friends at school that had versions of Fruity Loops.
Software trade.
You know, so we would trade over Yahoo Messenger. This is AIM Yahoo Messenger tag era.
Y-mail era.
So
Tag had a radio player.
These
social media players
crazy.
These social medias are nothing. Tag had something. MySpace stepped in, but Tag was something.
Tag was special,
it was quick. It was
the first one.
It was like Vine. It was the Vine of its time.
That's a good point. Actually.
It was 1 second, and it would have worked if it stayed, but MySpace.
Exactly. So me and my homies would just try to we would figure things out. So one of my friends was really into like making more hip hoppy type beats. You know, kind of like Madlib. Kind of vibes with Kanye West drums. His name's Julian Malone.
That actually sounds like it would be beautiful to listen to right now.
He was like that, bro.
Madlib plus Kanye drums is an amazing
His chops
sonic.
are crazy.
Man.
His chops were just amazing. So
what age are you all doing this at? Like, is this high school time period?
This is like 13 to 15.
Oh, so this is like, okay.
Super young. Super
transitional time. Like
I was making... So the reason I say that is because I ended up starting to make more DJ juke tracks at the time because the friends that I was around were like, we had a footwork group. So they needed tracks.
You were hold on, man. You was producing footwork tracks before we get to Walla Cam. We gonna get there, but man, you was producing footwork tracks.
I was, man.
I don't even. You might be the first person to sit here who at least has admitted to making footwork beats.
Bro, DJ Row, DJ Rock, RP Boo, man. Like that is a legendary time.
Quick aside, how do you even approach footworking drums? Because I've never tried it. I know I'm not that nice. That's just what it is.
Get Down, Lil Mama is the basis.
You just start there. That's the oh my god. And you just got to build everything from here.
It's a lot of African rhythm, a lot of
oh wow, man! I don't think I ever thought about that.
It's definitely a lot of polyrhythm. A lot of what you hear in like New Jersey Club right now.
Oh yeah,
reminds me a lot of that time. I feel like the tempo is a little slower with New Jersey Club, but it's
the tempo of footwork music was fast. That's why it's like I can't think about. First of all, Fruity Loops is ridiculous software in the first place. So to think about putting a beat in like 2/4. And doing it in Fruity Loops with the drum click pattern things, that sounds so annoying.
It was frustrating. Like learning anything new is super frustrating, but we just wanted to like get better and make things that we wanted to hear, and it was just fun for us, for real.
So
First thing we kind of like felt we had control of, I think.
Man, that's so awesome. Now, how did that lead over to Walla Cam? You had some tracks in there?
Yeah, so I can't remember what Walla Cam video it is, but it's still like it's still up for sure, but it samples I want to say like one of those really triumphant Beethoven tracks.
Yeah.
And Denzel from Training Day saying King Kong ain't got shit on me.
I love everything about that. Yo, please find that. If you can't find it, hit me up and I'll find it and get that in there. We need a clip of that.
Just
for
look
the people.
Look up Walla Cam King Kong. You'll find it.
Oh my God, that's amazing. And to know that you've produced that, that's so dope, man. That's so awesome. I got
history in Chicago.
You do, bro. Look, hey, I'm glad that we get to put it here on the record, bro, because this is so awesome. Now, Walla Cam footworking tracks. How does this now relate back over to you grabbing a microphone? Because it don't sound like you grabbing the microphone yet.
So at the same time, like, and even before I got into Fruity Loops, I'm writing raps. So
Okay,
like,
so this is the poem era that became the rapping.
Maybe like, so I probably stopped writing poems for maybe like a artistic purpose at age 12. Like that was when I was published, and I was like,
nope.
No, I love rap. Like,
it's like these Lil are gonna Wayne, be a little. These are gonna hit a little harder.
You know, Lil Wayne is amazing to me. Slim Thug, Mike Jones. This is 281330 era.
Bro, 281330 hit Mike Jones on the low.
I called him.
Man, who didn't?
Bro. Like, why
who didn't? Who didn't call every number in a song in that time period?
That was genius.
Alicia Keys,
Soulja Boy,
Alicia Keys,
right?
Call 28 because like 289-4601 or some shit, and I'll be here. We're like, what? All of these. I've called every phone number that was in a song. 678-999-8212.
Yeah,
I've called them all, bro. Like,
so imagine that time. We're trying to rap over instrumentals. I'm trying to learn how to record. And I can't use other people's beats. Like I kind of have that sense already of like,
somebody's gonna sue you. Beats. I can feel it. Like this belongs to somebody else.
Yeah, it's like I love that culture though. I love the mixtape culture.
Oh yeah.
I love the opportunity to make something your own, and I was really good at that. But when it comes to making a full project, I like making albums. And I can't do that with other people's beats. For real.
Saying that you were a Lil Wayne fan, that's the same mentality I feel he kind of was portraying in the time period. He was like, I'm going to rap on everybody's beats, but those are just the droughts. You can get them on Dat Piff.
Exactly.
But everything he would do on his projects would be something that was either created for him or something he acquired specifically for the project. That's awesome, man. You was already putting that much attention to craft.
There was an early version of what BeatStars is now. SoundClick.
Oh, yes. Come on, SoundClick era.
I want to say like Johnny Giuliano, Superstar O, like that era. So those were the popular artists. T.I. was popular at the time. Jeezy was popular at the time. So the beats that people were making that were most discoverable online were beats that I did not want to touch.
He was like, everything sounds like 24s right now.
My favorite rapper is Lupe Fiasco. I want something that sounds like Kick Push.
I need something that sounds like Daydream, and y'all out here giving me completely different shit.
Hurting me soul. Not
man, and they out here. I was about to say, and all they're giving you is Put On type beats before Put On was even out.
And I love those beats too. Like you hear it in my music now. Like I love that type of music, but that's where my head was back then. So because that was the case, I had to learn how to make the beats that I wanted to hear. And I was also a big fan of like One Republic, Coldplay.
Man, okay, eclectic.
So I wanted to learn how to play piano. So that just was a natural progression for me.
Learn how to play clocks real quick. That's the one everybody.
Was it clocks?
Everybody learned how to play that one
first. It wasn't clocks. It was Yellow.
Okay.
It was Yellow. The Scientist.
Yep, that's
Come
another
Home
one. Everybody.
By One Republic.
Nice.
Apologize.
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
Do you remember what Wayne and Timbaland and a whole bunch of people redid something over Apologize too? I remember Wayne has a verse somewhere that's in my archives where I was just like, when did I download this? This had to be like 08. Like,
yeah, that's about right.
Because it's just like, right. when did Wayne rap over Apologize? But man, those were good times, and that's a lot of good music to like pull from. It definitely shows in your sound today. Right. But like, how are you able to incorporate it then? I mean, you were producing footwork tracks. Like, I mean, I want to make sure people who are listening don't forget that you yourself are this two sides of a coin here, and you're doing both.
At that time, I was just. You got on cat dog socks. I just saw that. Sorry, that's hard.
This was Reptar.
That's hard. Yeah. Reptar and cat
Shout out
dog.
to my sister.
Shout out to socks. I'm a big sock fan. But it was. I think I'm pretty good at maybe like compartmentalizing my crafts. You know, like I show up in whatever moment is there, and I think that was true even back then. So I was able to do a footwear track, and then be like, nah, I kind of want to make Dear Mama by Tupac.
Like, nope, but now I'm trying to do something entirely separate.
Right. Now
Slow down the tempo entirely.
Trying to do Drake November 12th beats now. So, you know, like, it's just a lot of exploration, and I think that's where a lot of it comes from, to the point where it's like, I know that I have this faucet running of creativity, and it's like, I just try to fill up the buckets. I don't even know what I'm going to use the buckets for. It's just like, I might use one for washing, I don't even know exactly. One for cleaning, but that's just like, I know I got this water flowing. I just got to keep putting it out. So it was, whether it was footwork tracks, whether it was Kanye chops, whether it was T.I., you know, I was trying to do whatever I love.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
Where were you getting more recognition from at this time period?
Rapping, for sure.
Okay.
Definitely rapping. Like, mostly rapping over other people's stuff. So it was Super Wayne, Lupe, kind of influenced. Charles Hamilton too, even was somebody that one of those early on influences for me. So people were really receptive to that for me in high school because I was the one burning CDs and passing them out.
Okay, so you was willing to do the guerrilla marketing. You was willing to say,
I just felt like that's
here's
what
my
you're supposed
tape.
to do.
Here's my tape. I mean, it is what you're supposed to do. But once again, you're making things sound easy, man.
That's
I feel
real.
like for you, these things are easy. For me, I'm amazed by the fact that you just did them so simply. Because, I mean, you're also fighting against a lot of things. This isn't the time period of, I can give you a SoundCloud link.
Right.
You had to put in man hours. You had to buy CDs. You had to buy
markers,
covers. You had
cases.
Come on, bro.
I had business expenses.
And that's what I'm saying. You no LLC, just in high school. You couldn't even write these off. But I really just want to big up you for those because those are real staples of literally how we get to an era like SoundCloud. It's artists like you who are hustling and showing that this is a market. Because I feel like from there, what was your moment of noticing it was clicking? Because you're saying this is what I'm supposed to do. So when do you even notice, hey, I think I'm nice with this and I think it's time to pursue this for real?
I always thought I was nice. That was the thing. It's some of my first experiences as a rapper were people telling me I wasn't nice and me being like, did you hear what I just said?
It's like, hold on, run the tape.
Nah, bro. And I'm rapping for people at lunch or in classes and I'm just like, I'm like that. But
it's like you can say I'm not, but I really am.
But I'm really and nothing really deterred me. There was still that tape in my head of trying to prove somebody wrong. So me re-internalizing every time I thought about these people that kind of turned me away, it did kind of become a vengeful thing too. So how did we even get talking about that?
Well, I was just asking about when you noticed that turn, when it clicked. But I mean, if you say you had this kind of prove on you, is that something that you kind of used as fuel or something you wanted to work off?
For a long time, it was something I used as fuel. Maybe even not in the best ways. Maybe in kind of detrimental.
Yeah, because I was about to say that's a line. It's a line where it's that is good gas in the tank, but it could burn you out in ways you didn't even know you could get burned out.
If you rely on it. When I realized I was
because the second somebody praises you, you're like, where's the butt? Where's the extra part? You don't just like my art. You can't. Now you're jaded towards your fans.
The only disrespect that I ever felt from people after I got from the point of people are sleeping on me was they would say I sounded like somebody.
Oh man, comparison.
One way it's a big up, damn, that's quality, but in another way it's but I want to be me at the same time.
It's this is supposed to be unique.
It started clicking for me, and what separated me, I feel was doing open mics in the city. So doing DePaul open mics, they had Soulful Mondays, doing
a lot of people come up out of DePaul
Harold
open
Green's
mics.
open mics. YCA, U Media, for a time.
Shout out U Media, man. A lot of people from the city came through there as well. Yeah. These resources were so needed. And I mean, the more people that I talk to, the more I see how needed they were.
Bro, so many of us were in those same circles. Like you could turn to your right or left and you looking at Mick Jenkins, No Name, Saba.
Exactly.
All of Pivot, Joseph, Chance, Vic.
Literally,
Alex Wiley,
all of these
Kimbe,
people are coming through this
John
same
Doe,
funnel.
We were all kicking it together around this time, or at least when we meet up, it's all cordial. It's I respect what you do. It's
exactly. And I mean, that energy, and I mean, just some more names in there were also No Name, and you got Jamila, and these people who are who I'm now noticing were so influential almost, where it's all of that group together is what helps this energy, man. That's so awesome. Was being around that energy, was it almost reassuring in a way as an artist? Or did it have that competition? Was it still in your part of I'm trying to prove? I was
very competitive back then. I was very competitive in a way of that I thought I was better than people. I thought I was the best in the room. That's what you're supposed to feel.
I'd argue you kind of gotta if you don't think your music is the best.
I thought objectively
you were no, everyone's lying. I'm better than that.
Put this on paper bar for bar. There's nobody getting more ooh. I'm the hot sauce of this dancery. You feel me? Nobody's getting more oohs than me when I show up. So that's how I felt. And over time, more of the narratives maybe got in my way to where I saw it as competitive, and I didn't really feel uplifted by being around these people, but more so like I had something to prove that I was worthy of being around these people.
Interesting. Now, that's got to be something I feel you've either shook off or you found ways to cope with through this. Like, what are some of those like moments or things? Like, was there creating moments that showed this to you? Like moments where you almost go like, well, I created something that I knew was like for me. I knew it didn't have any, like I'm trying to prove you wrong or something like that. Or like what kind of made that turn?
There's a couple of things that I think about. One is the analogy that I feel like a lot of, you see battle rappers in the space, they have a hard time translating the records.
Yeah.
So I was in the space of writing songs, but performing them without the beats. So I have a certain kind of command and cadence over the crowd that's almost spoken word influenced. So I'm writing with this idea that I'm going to get that validation.
So you're writing that in almost.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, that line, I know the crowd is gonna go here, so let me put a pause in intentionally. Like you're plotting out their reactions.
Type shit.
Man.
So trying to translate that to record, I found myself frustrated. Not that what I was doing wasn't good. It got to a point where I started wanting to sing more. So this is the other caveat of that, like kind of where I started to translate into more melodic singing. To where I was like, no, I'm actually a vocalist. I'm not really a rapper. I just like to write from a rapper's perspective as far as how they form.
It's like
things.
that's just kind of what I unlocked first.
But where my voice goes, I love Jodeci. I was, you know what I'm saying? So
it's like if my voice can do it, I'll try it.
Exactly. No, 100%. That's what I was on. So, I grew out of that because I realized that being competitive isn't always the best thing when you're trying to focus on being a better you. So in a sense, what I mean by that is you almost reactive instead of proactive because
everything you do is with
a response.
Man.
You're maybe even inspired from the response. And Source don't work like that. Genius don't work like that. Genius comes from like you showing up. You have that consistent practice. And
if you're constantly deriving it from that external factor, it's like it's eventually gonna run out though. Like eventually it's gonna be like, well, now I'm reaching for it, it's not there.
Yep, that's almost exactly what happened. Where I felt like I wanted to quit. I'm like, and every time I get to that point, I always have the question, well, why did I start doing this?
Yeah, it's like if I want to quit, why do I want to start?
Yep.
I feel like if you gotta have both of those together to make your decision on either.
Yep,
like,
exactly.
That's so awesome, man. It's so awesome for you to have gotten to that point. I feel like you've traversed a lot of areas that a lot of people who work in creative spaces have to, whether or not they have yet or not. Like it seems like that's just a place that like almost like something you have to cross no matter what, or you have to figure out like what's my motivation. Yeah. Like it's like, okay, I'm nice at it, I'm good at it, but why do I do it? Like
KD was one of those people. Not even KD. It was Eric Thomas, E.T., the hip hop preacher. I started following him on Instagram, and he has several clips, but one that always sticks with me is "What's Your Why?" And he gives a Kevin Durant anecdotal about his number and what 35 means to him and why he touches his jersey. And I'm like, when I saw that video, I was like, I have to identify my why if I want to move past this block.
Yeah, it's like I need to, because if you have a purpose, you always remember, even if it's something as simple as touching a 35, that's him remembering, this is why I came out here today. This is why I'm here right now. This is what I did to get here. Like, that's so awesome to just figure those moments out, because I feel like that's so introspective. Like, that requires so much personal growth. Now, man, a question that I like to ask a lot of artists here, because this question usually catches people off guard. You were like doing all of this rapping, you were doing the singing, you were making beats. I just want to know like what's some of these first rapping producer names? Like I'm talking them ones you can't find on the internet. Like what was that first? You was like this one gonna be cold, and then you had to look back and go, that's not the movement.
The list isn't that long.
Okay. Not a long list, a long list, but I gotta know some of these.
So there's the Footwork DJ name.
Okay.
DJ LA, the Track Assassin.
The track assassin.
The Artful Dodger. You know what I'm saying?
The Artful Dodger. Okay.
You feel me?
You were really into the phrase. You were like, you needed like a whole line.
Yeah,
like,
So,
L.A. The track assassin.
Track assassin.
I love it.
And then the first rap name.
Mm-hmm.
It was just L.A. That's my middle initial and my last initial.
Hold on. L.A. And then did you go by L.A. Van Gogh?
I'm getting there.
Hold up, G. Hold up. Am I not putting this together right now?
Don't put it together.
9 to 5 Blues is one of my favorite tracks I've ever heard in my life. And
real?
I don't even think that I put together that you're also L.A. Van Gogh.
That I was.
What the fuck?
Hold up, bro.
I
am the shapeshifter.
Bro, that song got me through so much of my fucking life.
Damn.
Like, I don't,
real,
like, bro, the specific So Far Sounds performance.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
That's
man.
love, bro.
Yo, thank you for creating that.
That's love. Thank you.
Oh my God.
Blessings. Thank you.
Yo, Jay Duncan put me on to you. Jay Duncan and his older brother as well.
Yeah,
because you used to play basketball with them,
bro.
What the fuck? Yo,
shout out to the
I
East
did not
Side.
put any of this together, bro.
Good. That means the rebrand is working.
What the hell? That is you have the craziest rebrand in history. I just want to say that. I want to say that off jump right now.
Yeah,
great rebrand. Dude, like, what the fuck? I love your music on a different level than just the Galaxy Francis music.
That's love,
man, okay, we gotta keep going because shit, I'm about to get emotional and shit, bro. God damn, like 9 to 5 Blues is literally like, I'm talking, the first time I heard it, I was just like, yo, this, and it was at a time in life where I needed that I ain't got no money left, but these bills are paid. Bro, man, I'm talking like every word. Thank you for creating that, bro. Man, keep going. Keep going, man. What else? I might figure out some other shit.
LA Van Gogh was the last iteration. So it was LA, then it was LA McFly, then it was LA Van Gogh. And LA Van Gogh came
What's
out
the
of
McFly? Is that Back to the Future reference?
It is. So me and my homie Demarius, my homie Tavares, we kind of grouped up and became the McFly brothers.
Okay.
Of rap.
You really enjoy movies.
I love movies, bro.
I can tell.
If my love for music wasn't there, I'd hands down be a filmmaker, and I am a filmmaker.
Oh yeah, I was about to say, don't go away from it. I was about to say, don't go away from it, because I'd argue the video for the song I'm about to mention is you created a film there. Like, the short stories you can tell, and your fingerprints are all over it when it comes to hearing the track The Shining, where it's like, the references in there, the clockwork, the Kubrick, like, I'm just like, oh, this is somebody who really enjoys film.
I love music.
And then you're also making a good song just because you're making music with what you already love. That's so awesome, and I love to see that kind of like shining through your whole story. Like, you even got the Back to the Future references over here and things like that.
I'm big on themes, man.
That's awesome.
Movies push that forward for me. I'm a visual thinker, so when I write a lot of these songs, I also envision the video.
Okay, so you kind of have the whole plan.
Yeah.
That's actually one of my questions here. I love to ask people, especially people who create their own beats, what's coming first? Like, do you have some cold lyrics you got to make a beat to, or do you got a beat that you got to put cold lyrics on? Like, where do you sit in this creation process when you're a one-man machine? Like,
that's a good question. It changes a lot, and I'm starting to not like to give that as an answer because it's not as in depth of the story. So usually what will happen, there's 3 ways that a song will start. 1, something happens and I just start singing something, or like I get frustrated and I naturally, like my friends will tell you, I hit runs when I sneeze. So like I just naturally like sing.
Like, bro, I ain't never sneezed out of tune. So what the fuck am I? It's gonna come out. Like,
so if I feel a way, I'm gonna start singing about damn. You know what I'm saying?
And that could start the whole process of you creating the song. Like, that can make like, I gotta start making a beat because I heard that, or I gotta start writing the verse because I heard that.
If it sticks with me for more than a day, it's something I know I have to continue. There's a song I have in my head right now called Safe Place that I've had in there for like 3 weeks that I know exactly how it sounds. I know how the vocals sound. I know how many stacks I'm finna do.
Man.
And I haven't made the beat. I think I may have done a voice memo.
Okay.
That's usually what happens if I have one of those moments and I'm like, I don't want to forget this.
I can't forget this. But then it's like it gets stuck in your head so much. You're like, I'm not going to forget this because it's just been in here for 3 weeks. I damn near got the whole thing written at this point.
Man, to go back to your point of two of the songs you mentioned, 9 to 5 Blues, that I ain't got no money left, but my bills paid, was like me just like...
Was it like real life? That was like a moment where it was like I just had to sing out what was happening.
And I had that for a while, and I didn't have the verses, you know, and then I came up with the verses. And
you came with some amazing verses. I cannot stress how, like, I've shown so many people that song in my life, and it's just dope that I'm putting this together. Like, man, I don't think you fully comprehend how flabbergasted I am internally about that. Because it's just like, damn. But like... Because it's like that song, like in hearing your process, it had to be something like that. Because it's very like visceral, almost the emotion, where it's just like I'm gonna tell them I ain't paying my tax. Like, come on, like I'm gonna pass a bill to Congress, pass them, tell them don't fuck with me, act like. Come on, like the way you fall into that chorus of the sometimes when I'm down and I'm out and I can't get through. That run is amazing. Like, how do you control that? That's insanity. But like, I see what you mean by like you sneeze, the run is gonna come out. What you live in is gonna come out in the words. Absolutely. Like, and hearing your newer music, like The Shining, or I believe it's INTJ. I forgot a letter in there. I knew I was forgetting one. INTJ. Like, I'm hearing like kind of just you, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like I'm getting a more comprehensive picture through these songs you're dropping of who Galaxy Francis is.
Exactly. I think one of the biggest differences that I think about between me as an artist as LA versus me now is I was given vignettes of my life that weren't as detailed emotionally.
Got it.
So maybe like what you felt in 9 to 5 Blues, that hook was raw emotion. That verse was a lot of what I was trying to think through that emotion. Got it. Now it's a lot of like a song like The Shining. I had the hook first before I made the beat. I don't know. I might have had the beat first. I don't know at this point. It just kind of blurs together. Those sounds, the clicks you chose, it's so loopable. It's like, right after it's done, just turn it right back on. Run it right back. You know. So now that was intentional for me to put more of me into my music. You wanted it to shine through every part, so it doesn't seem like you're trying to work through it anymore. It's like, no, here's the entire complete picture. This is while I'm working through it. Like a lot of my songs now are while I'm figuring out whatever it is that I'm going through. Back then, it was a very similar process, but I may have been more reflective, maybe more heady about it, more competitive flow and lyric wise about what I'm trying to say and how I'm saying it. Versus now, it's like, is it fun? Do I? It's like, did I enjoy doing that? Because if I didn't, I don't really want to. Is it true? Like, you know, does it have some resonance emotionally, or even down to what I'm actually saying? Like, is it true? I just kind of have my own policies on what I do when I make a song. That's awesome, man. I love that you almost have this setup, this structure. Like it's your life. I mean, like I love to liken things like creating music to jobs for people who are creatives, because it is something that you're doing to help you go forward. Like this is what's fueling your life. Like this is something that you're using to supplement you. So it's like, that's so awesome that you're able to kind of put that structure inside of it and figure out how you work. That kind of like pulls me into the question that I ask usually later in the episode, but I want to ask you right now, how do you balance this? How do you make sure that you're keeping up with your creativity? Like, you are somebody where you said you got these faucets and you're filling up buckets. Yeah. What do you do to make sure these faucets aren't tapped? Like when you open that up, you might need to fill a bucket up right now if you're working in the studio on something or working with another artist. How do you make sure it's readily available when you have your hand in everything, you know? The first thing that I had to take care of, and this is a really good question because it's something a lot of us artists deal with. First thing I had to realize, and I would maybe even challenge what you said, like about the music, maybe being such a big part of our lives, and challenging people that identify with that and kind of put that as a part of their personality. I think that's what I was challenging within myself, was that my life has to happen for the music to happen. Yeah, if you don't have anything to put into the music, it's like, now I'm just rapping about nothing, or I'm singing about nothing. I think there's a phrase maybe Nip said in a song or just in an interview that was like, if you don't live a rapper life, you don't need to be rapping. Or if you're not, basically it's like, if you're not, you know, you can't false flag on what you're talking about in your songs. Or or it eventually comes through in the music where it's like, I've been in the studio for 3 years, now all my music is just about what I see in the studio. Exactly. It can't be about anything deeper than that, because I haven't seen anything deeper than that. Exactly. So I got to find balance in my health. If I'm too burnt out trying to please everybody, or just, you know, dealing with whatever I'm dealing with, whether it's stress, seasonal depression is a real thing in Chicago, something I deal with. And if those things aren't taken care of, I've given myself the grace and the patience to say, I ain't got to touch the music. And that also comes with trusting that when I do come back to it, that I'm going to be just as good. And I had to go through a lot of times of not doing music, or maybe like not writing as much or not writing as intently or routinely, to know that whenever I show back up, I'm still him.
Got it.
And that's something that I kind of live by now, where I detach myself from this idea of being the genius, of being a genius. I would still argue, sometimes I am a genius, but the reality is the genius is something that just works through me. Yeah. The genius is something that just shows up. If I show up, the genius comes and does its job.
I was about to say, it's something that is inherent. It's not something you could force. It's not something you could really pull out of nowhere. It's something where it's like, no, it's connected to me doing the work right and caring about it.
I like basketball. So Kobe is a big inspiration, when you think about Mamba mentality. But if you've ever done any type of sport, there's a lot of drills that you do.
Repetitive.
Exactly. There's repetition so that your intuition is now more fluid. You can make that hop step move when somebody tries to cut you off in the middle of the lane.
You've done it so many times.
Because you've practiced it. LeBron says that he practices that little fade away from the fucking 4 feet behind the 3-point line off the glass.
And then it's not surprising though, because once you're in a real time situation, but you've done it 100 times.
Exactly.
So that's how you kind of make sure that you're ready for your moments.
I've written I don't know how many bars just to get to shining. You know what I'm saying? It's like I've gone through so many different styles that in my journey of trying to figure out who am I, now I can relate the techniques and my skills and what I've learned and apply that to who I am, not what I'm trying to emulate.
That's awesome, man. Great answer. That's so awesome, man. It's so dope that you care for your creativity so much, because that's like being willing and ready to run those type of drills and have that repetition so that you're prepared after you've recharged that battery and you're back in the studio. That's so amazing. Like, that's so awesome to hear, because I love to just hear people caring about the craft. That's like, it makes me feel validated for loving the music,
I'm a student, bro.
That's so awesome.
Craft, bro. I would write words and be like, how many words can I rhyme with this word, and never do anything with
and do nothing with it. Just have a sheet of rhyming words.
Crazy syllables. Just ridiculous.
It's like, man, I've been trying to rhyme hippopotamus for 2 days, just for no purpose. Like,
hippopotamus, I'll slip out of this. My clip bottomless. You know what I'm saying?
But see, like, when you do it so much, it's like, now I know what I'm looking for.
I hear in syllables. I hear in sequences.
Awesome, man. So you know exactly where you need to hit. That's dope, man. I love when people care for the craft so much, man, because I think it's a space that's deserving of respect.
I want to thank you for being that kind of listener, because my love for that is there, and you're the type of ear that I'm trying to reach out to when I'm saying
hey, that's what I'm here for, man. Just a fan. Just a fan at the core of it all, man.
You are participating for sure.
Man, thank you. Love to hear that shit. But look, I do have a crazier question that I want to ask. Now, this question it's a question that can have any form that you kind of take from it. But the question is, if you had like unlimited money, you don't have to worry about cash, you don't have to worry about a deadline, you don't have to worry about anybody saying no.
I'm scared.
What type of project would you create, and who would you need to create this project? So it could be a project, whether it be like you want to make a movie or you want to make an album, or one person said they wanted to just create like a studio that was like so awesome that everybody could come and vibe in and come record with them. There's no factor of money. There's no factor of people saying yes or no to working with you. What would you want to do?
There's a tier to this.
Of course, that's what I was about to say. It's only good for 24 hours right now. So, like, I'm not going to hold you to this if I see you in a month and be like, that was your biggest dream. It's like, whatever comes to your mind right now when the question's asked.
Can I say, like, several things? Like, you mentioned several projects.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if somebody just came up to you with a blank check right now and said, I got you on a project.
So, look. Timbaland.
Okay.
Did we say dead or alive?
Oh, it's got to be alive. I like the alive.
Okay, for sure. I'm gonna go Timbaland for sure. Helping. This is an album.
Okay.
This first part is an album. Timbaland, D'Angelo.
Man. You might be the first person to say you need a D'Angelo feature.
J Electronica.
Yo, if you see, this is where nobody can say no. This is where those are the artists I be waiting to hear. I be waiting to hear people say shit like J Elect, because it's like there's probably no other way I'm gonna get them out except for this fantasy.
J Elect. Man, there's so many people that I love. Kalela. I don't know if Kalela. I don't know if I'm saying her name right. Sheesh. Childish Gambino.
Okay.
Little Dragon.
Man.
Kendrick. Future.
This is gonna be a crazy
Gunna.
project. Okay.
Lupe.
Man.
Let me get a Ghostface verse over a Madlib beat.
That combination is insanity.
Let me get
that combination is insanity.
You feel me?
Man,
I'm on all these tracks.
I was about to say, you want to top the charts. That's all I'm hearing. You're going to be in every niche there is in rap. You got every subgenre.
I want a Pink Pantherist feature too.
Man,
Let me get that.
Definitely.
So that's the album. And I'm pretty sure there's more I could delve into and producers and artists I want to work with. Devontae Swing.
Man.
Jodeci might be doing background vocals.
You know what I'm saying? Anybody. That's what I'm saying, bro. You might as well. It's like, yo, I had them just doing the ooze on track 4. Bro. Like,
so that's the album. There's another project that I do. I have a real passion for, and money is a big thing that has to do with it. And I want to combine education with mental wellness and music.
Talking my language.
So I want to do a festival. I'm not gonna give the name because it's so hot that somebody might steal it for real.
We're not giving all the info away now.
So I want to do some type of festival where you can where there's music, there's access to mental wellness resources, both as the artist and as the audience. And then I want to have some type of campus institution. There's somebody that actually is already doing this. It's called the Let Us Breathe, the Breathing Room.
I think I've heard of this.
Over on 51st. And man, that's super big inspiration. But that's a brainchild that I've always had since I was like a teenager.
Where it's like, man, if I got any amount of money, I just want to figure out a way to pretty much help the world.
Exactly. It's a 3-wing studio type campus type of deal where it's like music education, maybe like formal training in the actual art of music, but also education in the business, education in music law.
Being more well-rounded than knowing how to make beats.
Personal wellness. Maybe there's like some type of mindful movement, some yoga, some meditation, and then radicalization. So
we're also gonna teach you a little bit about,
we gonna have some Black Panther curriculum in there. So
we don't quite agree with the establishment entirely.
Exactly. Your favorite word is gonna be anti-capitalist when you walk up out of there.
We're going to teach you how to just share resources and be a better person for your fellow man.
Even thinking about that and trying to navigate the music industry, there's a lot of conflict in the ideals that I feel like I'm dealing with as a human being right now.
I feel like when you put enough of yourself inside of something, you're bound to hit the crossroads of where your morals or where your opinions, your very strong opinions lie in correlation to whatever industry you want to be a part of.
Fact.
And that's just when you actually care, because it's like, oh, this is the only place this is the only place that I can be hurt is when I tell you how I really feel about something.
You're right.
I mean, like, I am a person who lives behind the gilded wall of music. Like, I don't talk about my real life intentionally, but I'm so grateful to artists who can bear it all. Like, who can be like, yeah, that track, I wrote it, like, and I dropped it, like, it's on DSPs, like. That's so amazing to me. That requires so much, but I can imagine it does bring in conflict. Absolutely. Especially anti-capitalism and rap, or anti-capitalism and music.
Industry, the word industry?
Come on.
I'm having such a hard time right now.
I attempted to do the whole music thing, to do the management and figure out a way to make money inside of this for artists. It's virtually impossible. Yeah. Like, if you are starting from zero without going from zero to Ice Spice or zero to Lil Nas X, it's virtually impossible without years of grind, years of perfecting the craft, years of putting the time in, man. And thank you for being one of those people doing that, because it's just so awesome to see your journey. Even being able to know that I was a part of the views in another part of your journey. Like, that's so amazing to me, man. Like, I don't think you understand. That's the coolest revelation I've had. It's so awesome to have you here on the couch, G. What's something you want to share with the people? You got anything on the way that they need to be looking out for? Anything needs to go run up right now?
How soon is this coming out?
It's probably gonna come out in like a month or two, month and a half at the quickest.
Yeah, so right now, you know, I got The Shining out.
Yes.
I got Sour Faces and Skip to My Lou. That will be out when this drops.
Okay.
And this is all leading up to an EP.
We love to hear it.
Tracker.
We love to hear it.
It's gonna be the first installment of a little 2-part. Know what I mean?
Okay.
So I'm excited about that, and I have an album in the cut after that.
Okay.
So it's gonna be
you
fun ride.
I was about to say you have it all in the chamber. You're just waiting to shoot. Got it, bro. I'm excited. That makes me as a fan excited, man. I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you so much for coming on the show, G. Every episode, I love to use the outro track to put people onto your music. What track do you want to put them onto as we lead them out? Shining. Okay.
You see it right here. The brand
Come on. It's strong.
The Shining.
It's strong. Thank you so much, Galaxy Francis, for coming on the show. Thank you, everybody at home who listen, man. Make sure you're peeping this podcast. Make sure you play it for your mama, your sister, your baby daddy, your sister. Play it for your fish. Play it for your dog, your house while it settles. Cats like it, and I heard that like if you got a pet ferret, they might rock with the show. Just play it for them, yo, and make sure you tune in next week. We out of here. Deuces.
Andromeda. Space Boys. Out of there. I be glowing nowadays when you see me. My new nickname is The Shining.